Boys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be doing our very first FIFA 21 Squad Battles tips video. Now, if you could just do me a favour, boys, well, two favours really. One is watch the entire video before you ask any questions, because hopefully, whether you're brand new to the game mode or you're a veteran of the game mode, I will answer your questions and I'll be able to help you get more Squad Battles points every week with the tips in this video. So like I say, if you could just wait till the end, and if I didn't answer your question during the video, feel free to drop it and I will try and get back to you as best I can. And the second thing is, if you could go down, drop a sub and hit like, that would mean the world to me. I'm going to be posting top 200 squad battle rewards every single week this FIFA. Again, whether that's 6, 7, 8 months down the line, I'll still be doing it. Did it last year, so we're going to do it again. And you don't want to miss it. Hopefully we'll get some good rewards, you know. They didn't look after us too much last year, so hopefully this year can be our year when it comes to bad luck. And don't worry about the gameplay in the background, it's just there to have something there. I'm still getting used to the game, so if it's a bit shit, that's why. So, how do you get your points? Well, the first thing you need to be focusing on is getting your 5 goals. This is something that I get a lot of messages about, you know, Dan, I've just won 9-1 and I got more points for winning 5-0. Why? Well, that is because your goals are capped at 5. So, you could win 45-1 and you would get more points for winning 5-0. So the first thing to focus on is getting your 5 goals. And this is the same for every difficulty, by the way, whether it's beginner all the way up to ultimate. 5 goals is still what you need to be aiming for. Just what it gets multiplied by, what the score gets multiplied by is more dependent on what difficulty you chose to do it on. Then, so let's say you're playing your game, you're in the 60th minute, you've got your 5 goals. What do you do next? Well, you need to focus on keeping your clean sheet. And that first goal in particular is a very costly goal. So the way this works is you lose points per goal that you concede up to 4. After 4, you can concede as many more as you like. You don't lose any more points for it. But that first one in particular is costly because not only do you lose points for conceding the goal, but you also lose points for losing your clean sheet. And your clean sheet bonus is quite a big bonus. So I know it's easier said than done, especially this early in the year when we're all still figuring the game out. And the game seems a little bit harder than FIFA 20. The AI seems to be a lot better, especially on Legendary. So like I say, easier said than done, but you've got to focus on keeping your clean sheet. And hopefully, depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching it a little while after it's come out, I will have some custom tactics on the channel that you can go and you can look at and you can copy, and it will hopefully help you guys keep your clean sheets a little bit better. So, now, you're playing your game, you've got your 5 goals, and you've got your clean sheet wrapped up. What else can you do to get extra points? Well, basically, if you're at this point, if you can just replicate this every single game, all 40 games, you'll finish in the top 200 anyway. But there are other ways that you can get more points still. And the main one of those, to me, is corners. Again, like goals, these are capped. It is 10 corners per game, and I think you get 10 points per corner, and then obviously that is multiplied by whatever, depending on what difficulty you are doing it on. So, trying to force out your corners can be key. This is relatively easy. The way I tend to do it, and I did put a clip in somewhere of it, is I will get my initial corner by just taking a shot, and then when I get my corner, my first corner, I take the corner short, so I call the man short, take the corner, and then try and let them tackle me out of play. I think this clip shows it here. I think I take a shot with Pepe to get my initial corner, and then I start forcing out corners by calling the man short and forcing him to tackle me out of play, basically. And like I say, they are capped at 10, which is worth 100 points per game. And these little amounts of points, if you go in for the very top places in the top 200, can really make a difference. So yeah, as you've just seen, there was an example of it there. Now, there are still other ways to get points. For shots on target, I think that's capped at 10 or 20. You get a few points for that, so try and make sure you're firing shots on target every game. You get a point per percentage of possession, so if you've got 50% possession, you'll get 50 points. If you've got 70% possession, you'll get 70 points, and I think that's capped at 80%, so if you've got any higher percentage than that, you won't get any more points for that. It's also the same for pass accuracy. Again, I think that's capped at 80%, and you get a point per percentage of pass accuracy. Successful tackles are another way to get points. I think that might be capped at 10. Not 100% sure on that though. But basically, these are all the little extra ways you can get points. And you also get some points for having the man of the match on your team, which really, if you're going to be winning 5-0 on Legendary, you're almost guaranteed to have the man of the match on your team anyway, so you don't have to worry about that too much, but that is just another way you can get points. Now, I just want to quickly run over the ways that you can lose points, because obviously there's ways to lose points as well, other than just losing the game. So, per goal that you concede, we've already mentioned this, you lose points every time you concede, up to 4. You lose points every single time you foul somebody. It's not many points, but again, if you're competing at the very, very top, it could make a difference. You lose points per card that you get, and if it's a red card, you actually lose quite a good chunk of points. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it is. Again, it varies depending on the difficulty, but you can lose a substantial amount of points if you keep getting carded. So try to not get carded at all. I don't really pick up many cards. I never slide, really, unless I know for a fact I can get to the ball. So just keep an eye on that. That really is a way to lose points. And you also lose points every time you're offside. Again, I don't think it's very many, so don't worry about it too much if you get an offside. But it's just worth mentioning because, you know, you can still lose points that way. So, as for Ultimate, now if you're watching this when the video is brand new, you really don't need to give Ultimate any thought whatsoever. It's a lot more difficult than Legendary, and the reason for this is because every player gets their stats boosted to 99. So that's why, if you've ever played a game on Ultimate and you're wondering how this bronze 59 rated striker is now absolutely burning your centre-backs for pace, it's because he's got 99 on every stat. Now, they don't always have 99 on every stat. Chemistry is crucial when you're looking to play on Ultimate. Again, I don't really want to get into it too much, but I will quickly just explain it. So, basically, in the pre-game menu, you can check, obviously, players' chemistry, but you can also go into their in-game stats, and if the chemistry is low enough, they'll start having minuses next to their stats. Now, that's really what you want to be looking for when you're looking to play on Legendary. It's players who are getting stats taken away. Because if you play them on Ultimate, what happens is, if they're on full chem, they'll just have 99 everything. But if they've got, let's say, minus 10 on every stat, what happens is, you go into the game, and EA, or FIFA, boosts every stat to 99, but because they're on lower chem, it will then take away 10 stats. And again, this is different per player, depending on the circumstances. I'll do a video about Ultimate a bit later on in the year. Right now, you don't really have to think about it too much. It's no big deal. Then also, I wanted to get to this because I got a ton of messages about this as well. It was basically, Dan, I've just won 5-0 on Legendary and I got 0 points for the game. Why is this? That is because, like I think I mentioned at the start, there is 40 games every week. Now, once you have played your 40 games, you no longer get score for any more games that you play. It still lets you keep playing, but you won't get any score for it. And it was incredible how many messages I got about that. And that also includes skipped games. So let's say you play the first 2 games of your refresh, and then you see the second 2, and you're like, oh, they're too hard, I'm going to skip them. Well, it will then count you as playing 4 games, even though you've played 2. So if you want to be fighting for the top 100 or top 200 as it is now places, you need to not be skipping games. Even if it's difficult and you might need to do it on a lesser difficulty, that's the best way to go about it. Never skip games. And the final thing I want to cover is another thing I've already mentioned, and that is the featured game and the Team of the Week game. Now, these games are not worth as many points as the regular games, depending on what difficulty you do it on. So if you play all your games on Legendary, you'll notice that the Team of the Week game and the featured game don't give you as many points as like when you win 5-0. And that sounds pretty bad, you know, because you might think, why am I doing it then, a waste of time? But if you play on a lower difficulty, so let's say you play on Amateur, you'll end up getting more points for the game than you would usually. The way it works is, when you play the game on Ultimate, you get 2,000 points. This is Team of the Week and featured game. You get 2,000 points for it. And it doesn't matter how much you win by. So all the rules I've just said for the rest of the games go out the window against the featured game and the Team of the Week game. All you've got to do is win that game, and you will get the points. And it works, so you'll get 2,000 for Ultimate, 1,900 for Legendary, 1,800 for world class, and so on. Each time you take a step down difficulty, you take 100 points off. So I think that is pretty much it. Once again, just to quickly recap. So your starting squad battles, what do you need to do? Go into your games. You want to play all 40 if you're aiming for top 100. And in the game, you need to be scoring your 5 goals every single time. You know, if you do finish on only 4 goals, it's not the end of the world, but you do need to be aiming for your 5. You need to be trying your absolute best to keep your clean sheet. Again, you can still get top 200 if you're conceding in your games. Just try not to concede too much, but it is still very doable even if you do. And the last thing you need to focus on is your corners. It's only 100 extra points per game, but I promise you, as someone who played squad battles every single week last year, over the course of 40 games, that 100 points per game does add up. So just make sure you're aiming for your corners as well. And then as for not losing points, don't give away cards and fouls, but especially cards. Don't get yourself silly red cards because you're just giving away points and you just don't need to do it. Don't make silly tackles to give away fouls. And as already mentioned, just don't concede too many goals. It's capped to 4 goals, like I said. So just try your best, I guess. And like I said, hopefully there will be a custom tactics video on the channel soon that you guys can copy and we can find a way to try and stop you conceding goals. But yeah, I think that is it. I think I've covered everything that I need to cover. Sorry if this video was a little bit of a mess. I actually wrote down a bunch of bullet points to read out. So I've been trying to like read a script kind of thing. And I'm not used to doing that. I usually just go with the flow. So sorry if it's been a bit messy, but hopefully some of these tips can help you out. You didn't know some of them, and it gets you more points every single week. And if I help some of you get in the top 200 for the first time, let me know down below, because that would just be amazing to hear. And like I said before, if you've got any questions, drop those down below as well. And no matter when you ask it, even if it's 6-7 months down the line, I will try my best to get back to you. So that is going to do it from me, boys. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're new around here, go down, drop a sub, hit like as well, and I will see you boys again in the next one. Cheers, boys.